Well, hello, my beautifuls. It's nice to see you this wonderful morning. Hmm. Places I stay don't really have the best breakfast. I think the best breakfast I had was over in Memphis. They actually had a real breakfast, the breakfast of champions. They don't even give you a big one. They just give you one that's, I don't even know how many ounces this is, but it's like a mini. It's like a mini. There might be a few bites in here. Salty mama, good morning. Good morning. I don't know what's going on with my voice. I haven't drank very much coffee or milk or anything. And my voice feels like it's shot this morning. I've probably just been talking a lot, you know. I've been doing a lot of work and so I was sitting here going through everything because you guys know it's been a little I've been on the road a lot and of course I'm trying to find out, who's responsible for whatever happened because that'll go a long way in getting those things to stop from ever happening again. So anyways, I'm doing some work on that as well, which kind of sucks because I should be focused just on Sebastian, but we know that the Proudfoots don't want him found. So, um, long story short, I'm going through this stuff and I'm finally getting through some of my emails. I'm still falling flat. So if you guys sent emails, just bear with me. I literally have like 500 emails. I let them go for 2 days, and what a nightmare it is. I couldn't keep up with them. And so I'm playing catch up. So I'm going to try to do that this morning while I'm here after this live's over, just try to finish catching up on a little bit more. I'm not going to be able to get them all, but at least take a big bite out of them, right? See what's going on, see what information, because those emails have a lot of information for me, right? So it's very important. It's a critical part of my job. I got to read those emails. So, anyways, I got back to some of you guys last night, and then I'm here this morning, and of course I'm going through some stuff, and somebody sent me this. It's about 10 minutes long. And it's very, very upsetting, but I want people to hear this. I'm going to wait for more people to come and chat this morning. We're going to chit chat. I'm going to say good morning to all of you because I want people to hear this. I want people to hear the threats that are being made. They're subtle threats, but threats nonetheless. And they're threats for my life. And I just want to remind you guys, I've never called anybody here. I've never threatened anybody while I was here. I've made sure I've maintained that I'm out here for a fact finding and a search effort. I didn't bring a huge crew with me. I didn't bring a whole lot of things. I'm here to do my investigative work, which I'm allowed to do as a journalist, as a content creator. I'm allowed to be here. I'm allowed to do the work that I'm doing, and it's absolutely 100% supported by the law. I'm literally breaking no laws, and I've threatened no person. I haven't threatened. I made sure that I've said adamantly, all the people that have been here, adamantly, I'm not here for any other purpose. Now, if I was here for a protest, I still do it. There's nothing they can do about it. I follow the law. I don't encroach on people's property. I stay on public property. I make sure that we're out of the roads, all this other stuff. But see, that's not what it is. It's about the cryptic message to intimidate me. And I want to make sure that you guys know exactly who it's coming from. It is Chris Proudfoot. We wanted to know who's been threatening the people coming out here. That was one of the goals that we wanted to accomplish. Well, I can absolutely 100% tell you that my threats have personally come from Chris Proudfoot himself out of his own mouth, including people that he works with to help intimidate people here on these platforms. That's why he's going to certain creators because he likes the fact that they're bullies. He likes the fact that they'll be willing to break the law to help him. And that's exactly why he sought them out and is using them and their platforms. So I want you guys to hear this. I know there's somebody talking over this, but she's trying to point out how this creator is um, deleting stuff. But I want you guys to listen to what Chris is saying out of his mouth. Chris and Chris alone. Salty Mama, it's nice to see you. Southern Grammy Wolf, the real me too. It's nice to see you, Love Bug. Barbosa, Rebecca, Carla, Karen, Melissa, Vermont girl, it's nice to see you. Larry, Mally Cat, Sonia, our beautiful Sonia. Our beautiful Sonia. Right? Can you breathe? I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm not doing Lamaze. Okay, folks, I'm not doing Lamaze. It's nice to see you. We have Lisa, Ann. It's nice to see you. Michelle, Natalie, Vicky, Emily. Reading last name. It wasn't even Vicky. Vickery. Sorry. I'm half asleep, guys. I'm going on like literally. Last night was the most sleep I got, and thank God. Angel, it's nice to see you. Connie, Amanda, Big Mac Mike in the house. Penny, it's nice to see you. Marcia, good morning. Good morning. So, Maria, it's nice to see you. Maui girl, good morning. Good morning. So, you guys know I'm out here. I'm doing an investigative, report. I'm trying to figure out, make heads or tails of the information that we were provided. And one of those things is to go by a child's hospital because that's where Chris worked. I know people want to try to bend it out of proportion. How sick could she could go to a child? I literally recorded a construction job. Okay. Not like the sick, twisted, trying to creep into a child's hospital that they're trying to imply. I'm literally across the street and not even across the street. I'm across that street and across another street. Like I am literally at least 250 yards or more away from this construction site during my recording. Uh, Seriously, calm down. I'm not the one breaking the law. We all know that. So I did want to make sure that everybody is well aware of what is going on and who is doing it. So I thought I'd play this. Now, before I do this, I just want to put this on a point. I did report this not only to Goodlettsville, I actually reported this straight to the major investigating this case. So for everybody out there, no, I don't play this YouTube stuff. No, I don't threaten people. No, I don't do these things that you are doing. I come out here and do honest work and do my job. I don't get into the drama. I'm not threatening nobody. They're threatening me. They're trying to find my location. Why would they try to find my location? Why do they care about my location? To try to intimidate me? To break the law? To make me a victim? I was a victim for many years. One thing I will never be again is a victim. Okay, so for the people that like to try to intimidate me, the reason you guys just make me want to work harder. I'm just going to say that. You make me want to work harder. Chris, you are a fucking liar. You lied about where you were. I just want you to know that I know. So you can take that to the bank, Mr. Proudfoot. And you can say all the crap you want to say, and you can send your minions toward me, and you can try to fight, but that doesn't matter. I know. Don't threaten me again. Don't threaten me again.
I'm a new follower of my ass. I'm Chris Proudfoot. Notice. She said that guy she was in. See, people are calling Chris.
Why does he want to know where I'm at? Why does Chris Proudfoot want to know where I'm at? Why is he stalking me?
That's Chris. That's Chris. Chris. And then on top of it, apparently she went. That's Chris. Everybody's calling out. They know it's Chris. Like 120 people. She's gonna catch it. Illuminati's gonna catch it. I don't know.
She's talking about her deleting messages, calling Chris out. But I want you guys to listen to what Chris is saying. It's coming up.
And start deleting their comments. A true statistic, though. Why the fuck would you go down to a children's hospital? What kind of sick individual has to go to a children's hospital?
A sick individual that needs to follow a sick individual's steps because you keep lying to everybody about what you did and where you were, and you're injecting rumors into your own case so it can help you, so it screws up all of us, right? Well, I'm one of those people that fact find everything, Mr. Proudfoot, Mr. Chris, crystal clear Chris. Threaten me. Double dog dare you.
I can't explain what this lady does, nor do I want to try. Y'all just watch. Because I think she is honestly, you'll see her pointers.
I'm psychotic, but I don't follow people around. I investigate stuff. That's it. Everything I pulled that has them in it are stuff I pulled personally from Facebook groups, just like everybody else.
Start deleting them. Checking people.
Agreed. I love how she stalks and harasses people, but literally,
I've stalked and harassed nobody. I've been in my car the majority of this trip driving around looking at sites for searching. Seriously. I've went into a neighborhood to capture images, which I'm allowed lawfully to do. I'm on public property doing my job. Doing my job lawfully. Lawfully. I didn't bother anybody, didn't knock on any doors, drove around, took my images, and so and went out of my way to make sure I didn't even disrupt the community. Went out of my way to make sure I didn't disrupt the community.
tells people to stop doing that.
How's she not got an open chat to get
Like, you know what I mean? I've seen her post 2 pictures in the last week of Katie and allegedly Chris's daughter. And who's taking these pictures for you? Like, what?
Taking the pictures for me, I don't know who these people are. Never asked them to acquire photos. And as a matter of fact, went straight to social media and grabbed those. What? Boom, right? I don't know who they are. I'm doing research. So anything that's available at the time that I'm doing that research, I'm pulling. So no matter what, am I saying if you got pictures? Yeah, I'm going to take whatever's given to me and I'm allowed to. It's called journalism. Okay, that's why that's why the law protects our sources so well. You literally need a court order to break media's sources. You understand that? It is highly protected. Not doing anything unlawful, not committing a crime. I just want to make sure that we get educated here so people can quit saying I'm committing crimes while they're the ones committing crimes. I'm doing everything lawfully and legally, above board. Okay, you guys understand that I'm allowed to do this by law. And it's supported.
Obviously, she wants to talk about people inciting something, but you have obviously put out a call to your people.
If I put out a call to my people, this stuff would be coming directly to me, right? Now, if you guys would love to send me stuff, I'm not going to stop you. Send it away. Okay, send it away. But this stuff that I'm showing is being acquired elsewhere. So they're lying, and they know that because everybody else is showing the same stuff. So clearly, it's not being sent to me.
Get the photos, and that's crazy. That is crazy.
But I want to make sure if you do have any photos of Chris or Katie out and about, please send them directly to me. So next time we make sure it comes directly from me. So next time they want to at least attempt to accuse me of stalking, they have a little bit of real evidence to support that. But I would like to break that. So if you guys are out and about and they are in a public space, take your camera and take a picture. It is lawfully and legal. And guess what? It's lawful and legal for me to say that. But what you can't do is stalk them for that photo. But if you're out and they're in a public space, you're absolutely allowed to take it.
The worst part is he has a state law.
Here it is.
Why? She gonna start deleting his comments. It's going through. Kids and people. There's also victims.
No, you're wrong. If you're in a public space, I can take a photo of anything. If your children are on a playground, not that I would, but you can take if it was illegal to take photos of this stuff when people are in classes, if people were at the soccer teams and those media people snap those photos from those yards and put them look at the score and zooms in on the kid, that would be unlawful. They would have to shut their news down. They would never be able to cover any type of Pee-wee activities or anything like that, which they do. So, cut it out.
Right, so these things, God only knows what families have to deal with this shit. Deleting it.
Agreed.
When she said she deleted it.
I think she claims to be a paralegal.
Claims I can only be a paralegal. Let me tell you something, honey, because you're ignorant to the law. I can only be a paralegal when I work under an attorney. So I have an AA in paralegal studies. Okay, I've worked with them for decades. Could I have a BS? I could, but I had plenty of experience in a law firm. I didn't need to go back for a BS. I didn't really care for the credentialing. There's a big difference. I did all the work for the attorneys and I set him up to go out to court. Okay, so I don't know what you think a paralegal does. It does all the attorney's work. Okay, it does all the legal research, honey. Just saying. Just saying. They do all the work.
Paralegal, that's even worse.
Well, they're definitely not
It is worse. You damn right it's worse. Oh, at least he's got common sense, at least on this topic.
As in, like, what's legal and not legal.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Like, I literally went to school to learn about the law. Don't you think I would follow the work that I went to college for? Like, I know how to research law. So does anybody really honestly think I'm out here breaking the freaking law? Idiots. But that's what they want you to, that's what they're trying to convince their audience so they can justify their actions, so they can justify their unlawful behavior because they're committing felonies while I'm acting within the confines of the law.
Actually makes no sense.
Look, she's going to the comments looking for Chris Proudfoot.
I mean, she knows that Tennessee state law.
Here it
If
is.
she protests in the street, she can legally be ran over.
Keep listening. It gets a little worse than that.
Hiding comments.
Yeah. No, Tennessee passed a law back in the COVID shit, or the COVID, like BLM thing, whatever. People standing on the interstates blocking the freeway.
When have you ever known me to block any traffic anyways? But it wasn't that. It was the fact that he's trying to already justify himself for using his truck to run me over.
Because he passed the law and you get caught on the road, illegally be ran over.
No shit. I love Tennessee.
Just saying, the laws. Careful where you go.
Careful where you go. Tennessee laws. Careful where you go. Out of Chris Proudfoot's own mouth. So I wanted to make sure that we know exactly who's making the threats to the people that are out here searching. You heard it out of his own mouth. You watched what they did here live on this thing, even though they're trying to go out there now and say, oh, Betty set that up. Betty set that up. No. When have I ever set anything up for a click? Do I look like I need to go out of my way to make stuff up for a click and a view? It seems like I'm doing just fine over here on this channel at the moment. Right? He knew where I was. He's leaving cryptic messages through this content creator about me possibly needing to watch where I go, justifying if I'm out in the road getting run over. You can't just run people over, even in the state of Tennessee. Okay. You have to have a little more justification than that. You have to be in fear for your life to take somebody else's life. If they're beating on your car and you need to get out of there, you can run their asses over. You can't just see somebody walking in the road with a sign and go, Vroom! It's a crime. Just saying. Did he say legally? What is wrong with him? Yeah, legally run me over. That's exactly what he said. So now you know exactly why I make paper trails when I'm here. And now you know why this went straight over to the major that's handling his stepson's missing person case. When it comes to me and my safety, I don't play. When it comes to trying to show somebody and to really get to the heart of the matter, I kind of, fluff up some emotions, especially when I'm challenging somebody that I perceive as a criminal that did horrible things. When I start challenging their story, they get a little hostile because we are challenging their story. Right now, Chris's story is falling apart, in my opinion. It doesn't appear that he could have been at his work at 5:15. I'm not finding any information. And then you hear him having a freaking meltdown that how sick I was for going to a child's hospital, right? A child's hospital. Did you hear that? Let's see if we can go back to that. We're only 3 minutes in, so I think it's got to be right around 1 minute and 30 seconds.
I've seen her post 2 pictures in the last week
I think it
of
says,
Chris's daughter.
yeah,
Why?
that's another photograph. I know where she's at.
That's Chris. Everybody's calling out. They know it's Chris.
Understand like why so many people suffer a violent crime.
She's gonna catch it. Criminality's gonna catch it. I don't know. And start deleting their comments. A true statistic, though.
Why the fuck would you go down to a children's hospital? What kind of sick individual has to go to a children's hospital?
Somebody's got to check your story, sir, because your story stinks to high heaven. Somebody needs to change your diaper. Your diaper. Sorry you brought this knocking on your front door. You know what you could have done? You could have just, whenever you got that call from your wife, you could have picked up the phone and called 911 then. You know, you could have been a real man, and you could have done that. But instead, you chose to lie. You chose to lie again. You chose to lie some more. And now, because somebody is actually fact-checking something that will actually bring the truth to light, you know, not somebody that's controlled or somebody that's not coming down this far, you know, love Nick Barris, but he's, you know, the public information officer for Sumner County Sheriff. So I have to take that with a grain of salt. And so I like his work. I just watched him. I was watching him on the news this morning. Okay. Great guy. Okay. But it doesn't seem like he's going to go down to Memphis and bring you guys back some intel, does he? Okay. I am, right? I went down to Memphis to bring us back some intel because I can do that as part of my job that is lawfully and legally allowed to be obtained by me. And I'm lawfully and legally allowed to disperse that to all of you, just to let you know. So that's what I'm lawfully and legally going to do. We'll see how many criminals decide to interfere with my lawful and legal business practices. So I just want to make sure we understand that. And if anybody hits me with a car, Chris Proudfoot did it. I told you guys when I came down here, if anything happens to me, Chris did it. No matter how you look at it, Chris did it. And I'm on that realm right now. If anything happens to me right now, Chris did it. Chris Proudfoot did it. He's following me. He's trying to catch. I haven't even tried to find out where they're at. I haven't tried to catch him at a store. I haven't tried. I'm out here for a fact-finding trip, just like I told everybody I was coming out here for. Kind of funny how that happens, right? Kind of funny how that happens. So I thought I would bring that to you guys and let you guys hear it for yourself, because I'm still out here looking for Sebastian Rogers. I'm still out here trying to acquire any information that will lead me to the whereabouts of where Sebastian Rogers is. Unfortunately, to find those answers, I'm following where the crumbs are leading, okay? And the bottom line is the crumbs haven't left the Proudfoot home, period. So the only way I can do a good job is to look at two people right now, right? I'm actually looking at the neighbors as well, because the lights came from one of the two houses. We all know it's going to most likely be Chris and Katie's house. But at the end of the day, we did not physically see those lights go into any particular property. So with everything being said, I would have to, if I had to roll the dice, say that everything went to Chris and Katie's house. However, it could have been that neighbor, right? It could have been. So I'm interested in learning about that neighbor. And guess what I'm going to be able to do? I'm going to be able to learn about that neighbor lawfully and legally. Okay? I'm not going to be breaking the freaking law. So now I'm going to make sure that everybody knows that the work I'm doing when I'm out there is lawful and legal. When I go out there, it's lawful and legal. If you don't believe me, you can just look up the statutes. You can look at the Constitution. They're like, oh, well, Betty came into her state. You don't own this state. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of federal money that comes into the state because the state's so freaking broke. So guess what? I hate to burst your bubble. Anybody living in these 50 United States owns this thing. Anything that's owned by us, Alaska, Hawaii, whatever regions and everything else that we added to our stuff since then. I don't know how all that works, but it was after I graduated from school. So I didn't learn that part. I could look it up on Google, but it's not that important to me. Can you believe I'm reading some of these comments? Oh my God. Because I do talk to text, which you guys all know how talk to text is. There's no point in explaining, but people know that, right? So there's a person in there. Can you believe her sentence structure? I can't believe her sentence structure. And I'm laughing. I finally wrote in there. I'm like, dude, you realize the kids these days use emojis to communicate. Emojis. I think I'm okay. Okay. I, I think the world can understand what I'm saying. I think, at the end of the day, it's about the communication aspect. Do they understand what I'm trying to convey? Yes, they do. Do you understand what this is? Do you understand the message I'm trying to convey? I'm just curious. Is this proper sentence structure? I'm just asking. Is it? I don't know if it's proper sentence structure, but it was my emoji. It was my lifelike emoji. Does it? I think everybody that's a millennial understood what I meant to say. I couldn't put a punctuation after it. I don't understand. Did you understand? When they start going to sentence structure, I'm like, man, they don't even have an argument at this point. Their arguments are their excuses. They don't even have excuses anymore. It's like, well, look at that. She didn't even put a period there. What do you have to say about that? It's so funny. I'm sorry. I can honestly say I'm a product of our public school system. That's why I'm allowed to say. That's why people are like, I can't believe your dog in the public. Look, I was a product of it too. I have improper sentence structure. There you go. Blame it on the schools. Oh. When I saw that, I busted out laughing. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know who this is, but it's probably that crazy teacher from Fonda, New York. But look at her sentence structure. I would have done better than that. Well, I'm not into sentencing. Ask a doctor. You think the doctor cares about? It's probably the smartest person, makes more money than the person complaining. You think he has proper sentence structure? You can't even read what the man writes, okay, honey? And he's making more money than God. So I'm just saying, I don't think anybody gives a rat's ass in the adulthood about sentence structure unless you're into journalism, and that's written publications, which I'm not. I'm in video publications, okay? You guys get my expressions, not my punctuations. I'm just saying. I don't know what to say. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. Sonia, I didn't cuss. You can't say I cussed. I don't think I cussed this morning. I didn't cuss. I was using an emoji. I'm allowed to. Let me see if I can find my emojis on here. Hold on. Let me see if I can I wonder if it'll let me do this. Okay, search emojis. Let's see if you guys can get this. Really? You don't have a bull? Let's do cow. No bull? Well, we'll have to do. We'll have to make do. You guys already know what I my little computer doesn't have a bull on it. That's not does it have poop? It has poop. Okay. So you guys can get my feel here. Okay, there we go. You guys got that? Okay, that's what I think. That's what I think about these people that like to break the law and threaten me while I'm here doing an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. You know, I'm out here trying to find answers. It seems like the only people resistant to people finding answers seem to be the Proudfoots and those that associate with the Proudfoots. I mean, that is my assessment. That is going to be my official assessment when I come back. That it is the threats are coming from Chris and the Proudfoots, the Proudfoot camp. There's only one person, one team of people that have really tried to prevent me, and those are the people that have been trying to go out of their way to intimidate me. They're associated with the Proudfoots. I don't know what you call that. Why won't it let me go back here? It's now that I've written, it won't let me recollapse the, oh well. Now that I put my little emoji thing on, it won't let me collapse it. Oh, do I have to hit this? Nope. Won't let me collapse it. There. Is that how I do it? Okay, well, I figured it. So let me go ahead and read some comments. That's really everything I had to say, but that's my official statement. If people want to know where the threats are coming from, it's the Proudfoots. What I am going to do is I'm also going to publicly, I'm going to be out putting up flyers later this afternoon, and I'll be doing all that. I may go live with you guys when I do that, but I have a stack of flyers in my car, so I want to get those put up. And when I get those put up, anybody that sees those signs, if you see anybody removing those signs, take a picture, take a video. I always find it easier to take video and then go back and capture the photo after. So if you do see something like that, just if you can photo it, videotape it. But if not, a photo's fine. But I want to find out who's removing the flyers. I really don't, I'll come back out here and pepper this every few weeks, the areas with his flyers if I need to. I don't really care. But I want to find out who's taking the flyers down. And somebody came in here last night and tried to say that was debunked. And I'm sorry. I'm boots on the ground right here. And I watched people put flyers up. Watched them put up flyers all over this community. I was sitting in Florida when it was done. There are hardly any flyers up on these posts. Somebody is taking them down, period. I don't care who says it's debunked. I'm telling you, I have eyes. And the signs are missing. So you can say whatever, you can pass whatever BS you want to pass around, but I'm here and I'm telling you, I watch people put signs up in certain areas and I'm looking at the signs not there. If you can explain how that happened, it seems like a lot of things are disappearing, even a 15-year-old boy. It just seems so funny that the Proudfoots seem to be in the mix of all of it. And that's something that the law enforcement can't stop me from saying. So, Chris, you can sit there and bitch at me all day long, and it must terrify you that I'm here. I get that. Because I'm challenging your story, challenging what you have to say. The reason why I'm at a child's hospital is because your story stinks to high heaven, and you wanted to lie to everybody for months. You think I want to spend this kind of money, come down here and have to listen to your shit? Just tell us the truth. I wouldn't have to be here. Knock, knock. I told you. Start cooperating with law enforcement. And I don't mean acting like you're cooperating with them. I mean seriously cooperating with them, telling them the truth. Telling them the truth. Taking a bite out of crime. Or a really good banana. This is a good banana. I picked this one. Look how big this one is. This is like the biggest banana they had there. Like it's a big banana. It's like I usually get one that's like half like, I mean, it's a pretty big, hold on, my thumb's in the way. It's a pretty big banana. Like, pretty big. Very good. But they had no real food there. Like when I think of breakfast, I don't think of cereal. Okay. I think of like biscuits and gravy. Okay. I don't want, or bacon. How hard is it to put bacon or cheap sausage out there with some microwave freaking eggs? That's what they do. I mean, it's like liquid eggs that they put in a bag and microwave. Like, what does that bag cost you? $5? You can't throw $5 out there for your peeps. Now one banana pudding. Oh, hey, Lee, it's nice to see you. It's nice to see you. I know that does sound good. Ooh, what do you guys around here have? Don't you guys have like a little country store or something that makes that shit fresh? I just cussed. Sorry. Makes that stuff fresh. I really need to work on it. I got so loose with the lips. I get frustrated and then it starts going and then I'm on this cuss roller coaster for like the next 2 or 3 months and then I get right again and then then somebody else gets up my craw. Then it's kind of you know how it works. I guess it wasn't the worst. I mean, it's not the salt said word. There's some words that aren't even cuss words that are more offensive than some of the cuss words I say. Thank you guys. Yeah, if you guys, we have only 189 likes on this thing. Why don't you? We have 850 people in chat, so why don't you guys go out there, give me a thumbs up, let me know what your number is. Let me know where you're from. If you don't want to say the, like the city and state, you can just put the state, but put the weather. What put your community weather out there. A lot of us are like me. I'm traveling. I never look at the weather. The only time I'm able to get the weather is when you guys post it in chat. That's really why I do it, is because it tells me what everything is like around the world. Like we have some people in here from South Africa, from New Zealand, from Australia. They throw that stuff out here. I never understood Celsius and Fahrenheit, but I did tell you about that public education thing I got, right? So I know there's a calculation and I know I can easily do it, but again, I forget. So if you guys do, just remember we're Fahrenheit, not Celsius. We're on a different wavelength. Oh, wow. What is it? I was talking to somebody. Oh, I know who I was talking to. Anyways, so this person I was talking to was from Kansas, because and we had just covered the Kansas moms. And I was like, and I didn't even realize, I seriously did not realize how flat Oklahoma was until we covered that case. And that's when they said, no, it's like flat. It's flat, flat. And I'm like, wow. And I never realized that. So I was talking to somebody that was originally from Kansas, and I'm like, is Kansas, because of that, I realized that Kansas, the border and everything like that. So I'm like wondering if how much of that is like flat, because it was so close to Oklahoma. And he said it was like completely flat, flat, flat as well. I didn't realize, for whatever reason, I thought Kansas would have like more like mountains or hills. I've never been to Kansas. It's kind of where, the Wizard of Oz, we all read the Wizard of Oz, and that's the only time I've ever really, or anything I even compare to Kansas. Few hills towards Missouri. Yeah, and who was it? I know who it was. I was talking about Missouri, and I can't remember what we were talking about, but I thought it was an old country song or something, but there was something that happened in Joplin, Missouri. I can't even remember. My brain is just fried on this trip. I mean, I feel better today, but I went like yesterday and the day before, I was going on like literally no sleep. And it's like a blur. Like looking back on those 2 days, it's a blur for me. I'm like, I must have just been running on adrenaline and energy. I really, I've been doing a lot. I've been doing a lot. Today I didn't wake up until, I don't know, oh, I know what it was. It was 5:55 on the dot. I remember I rolled over and I looked at my phone. It said 5:55, so I said a quick prayer. you know, I didn't know what else to do. I'm like, I never wake up at, like, literally, I looked at the phone. It said 5:55, and I'm like, we all fall short of grace for God. Oh, yes. Trust me. I know. But I do. People are like, I can't believe you did that. I do it publicly because, first of all, I'm on here, and one of the things that we talk about is real life, life, and life is messy, life is truly, truly messy. I make mistakes. I'm not a perfect human being. It's hard for me to try to express to people that they're never going to be a perfect human being without being, imperfect myself, without being fallible, and I could keep that away. I could make people think that, like I did with the car. I tell you what, I was a hot mess express, but that was more of a fake it till I make it type of a situation, but I can tell you, with throughout the car situation behind the scenes, and then the stuff that happened last year that was really heartbreaking for me, that hurt me really, really bad. And you guys all know about that. I'm not going to keep rehashing it. I just like to, hopefully he stays on his, I stay on my, whatever. But, I went through, so it was very, very hard. And those things, I had to fake it until I make it. I didn't bring that, because that would have been just a hot mess. I mean, it would have probably not, it wouldn't have been, it would have been more of a pity party than trying to move forward and move on. You know what I'm saying? So, but I can tell you that 6 months, I put on a hell of a smile for you guys, because I tell you what, behind the scenes, it was bad. It was bad. Um, it was just it was a lot of tears. It was a lot of tears that you guys did not get to see. So, but and I probably shouldn't even have shielded you guys from that, but I knew at that point that that would have been capitalized by people while kicking the dog while they're down type of thing. So, we just put on a smiley face. That was the strategy that I used for that. But I tell you what, some of this stuff I think needs to be out. I think people need to see that, we are not perfect human beings. Even the ones of us that go to church, there's some better Christians than others, right? There just are. The only thing we can be is better than we were yesterday. Do things a little different. Cussing, it gets a little better, then it gets a little worse, then it gets a little better, and then it gets a little worse. It's just maybe by the time I'm 60 years old, I might have it. Practice makes perfect. I don't know. Maybe I'm just doing a lot of practicing. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's 10:27 here. Oh, you're in Australia, Queensland. I want to go to Australia. I tell you what, I want to get my passport. I've never gone out of the country before. I've never gone out of the country before, but if I get my passport, I think the first place I would see is our mod, our beautiful mod Emma. I would love to see her. I actually told her that the other day. If I ever get my passport, I think I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go at least give her a hug. And then there's a few other places I would like to see. One is Australia, but not. I mean, of course, Australia is very, very beautiful. But I heard and I know Sydney is probably like the main focal point. But I would like to see. I hear that it's beautiful there. I hear it's definitely something you have to see. And New Zealand. New Zealand is another place that I would absolutely die to. It's a bucket list item for me. I want to go. I would like to go to New Zealand. That one absolutely is a bucket list item for me. If I could go to New Zealand, I would. If I had to take a choice between Australia though and New Zealand, because New Zealand's a bucket list item, I'd probably go with that. But I hope one day. I hope I can. I hope over the next 20 years I can at least make those 3 trips. So, I think that's rude. Let's see here. She looks awfully happy for someone that was still cussing on her. What does it say? She looked awfully happy for someone missing her son. I'm sure that's what CP is so mad his daughter being photographed. You know what? I get it. I get it. And I can't even imagine for Nina, but this is what she was, Nina was terrified. She didn't want her daughter here. This is something the courts ordered. Um, this family is missing a son, and every time we turn around, they seem so happy. And I think that irritates the normal society. Okay. And then to see her holding and hugging and kissing on a little girl, it it does something deep inside of you, you know, to sit there and think, you know, because Chris and Katie fought so much over Sebastian and all of his problems. And everybody's trying to say that the comment, like, look, I'm not the one that thinks this boy is defective. I absolutely think that Sebastian was absolutely a smart kid. He had disabilities. He wasn't a pain in my side. You see what I'm saying? This is something that Katie thought and Katie did and Katie acted out on, not me. And they can sit there and say, I call Katie out as long and hard as I can. And some people are saying, oh, Bullhorn Betty said he's defective. No, that was not what I was saying. I was saying that was what Katie was implying. She's the one that's looking at her son defective, not me. I'm out here fighting for her son. As a matter of fact, it was her husband that thought if we heard about him being R'd and SA, that we would drop the case and not even bother helping anymore. That was out of their mouths, not mine. They were having a problem with all of his issues, not me. I'm searching for that beautiful boy. God doesn't make mistakes. Get it right. But it doesn't matter because they're going to run with whatever story they've got. It was shocking a creator did this. What is more shocking is the people follow them that was attacking and putting out false information. Exactly. And they're continuing to put out false information because the truth does not look good for the person that they're protecting. There's a reason why this family is going to these channels. And these channels are ruthless. They don't mind committing crimes. They don't mind breaking the law. They don't mind doing what it takes to help that family, that criminal family. That's why I always say you have to watch where the people go, who they go to get support from. When they go to these channels, they're going there for protection, not avocation. And I don't know, honestly. Um, I think anything's. I tell you what. I talked to Seth. Seth, in our conversations, he lets me know how he thinks things. I tell him what I think. I'm pretty open and honest with him. His theories and my theories aren't 100. And he believes that there is a possibility of Sebastian being in any of these states, right? North Carolina, here in Tennessee. There's a lot of family that both Chris and Katie have, you know. There's the autistic centers. I know people, again, I don't see why people would create a felony for themselves. But you know what? I mean, if there's a possibility, there's a possibility. So I actually told, we were talking about last night, and I thought like the perfect plan and the perfect way to go and do this might be, because I know I've got to have at least somebody in every single state in our chat. I mean, we've got like over 850 people here. I have to think I have at least somebody from Florida, Georgia, you know what I'm saying? Some one or two people in my chat from each of these states. So what I was thinking that we could do to and you need to keep it to your state because this is the only way it would probably work well. And I'm thinking if you guys can identify all of the like medical, like autistic ranches, schools and stuff, anything that's in house. Now, the thing is that they're not obviously, because you're talking about children, they're not going to give you any information. So calling up there to ask if Sebastian is with them or is at their school, it's going, you're going to get them to shut down on you. So I was figuring how would be the best way to approach this and convey that we need them to look at their student, your inpatient student roles. So I was thinking if everybody, identified all the autistic centers in their state, first starting in your own county or closer to you and working out, I think that would probably be beneficial. And if you call those autistic centers, like the script should be more in line. My name is so-and-so, and I know you can't give me any information, but I'm hoping that maybe you can go over to your computer and look up this boy. His name is Sebastian Rogers. He's been missing, and there are people that believe that he might be housed in possibly in an autistic, inpatient school. If he's enrolled in your school, would you please reach out to law enforcement at, the Sumner or Sumner County or 1-800 TBI fine. I think if you did it like that, it would provoke that person to say, okay, let me take this seriously. Let me go over to the computer, look this up. They'll see Sebastian Rogers. They can look and see if they have anybody matching that description. And I truly believe that they at least will call in, but it wouldn't shut them down when they're picking up the phone, because you're basically saying, I understand you can't give me any information, but I just really need you to go look at this boy's photo and call law enforcement if he's at your school. I think if we did something like that, I think it would be more receptive. It would be less intrusive, and it would allow them to do whatever they need to do on their own time. I think, we're not going to be able to find out if he's in those schools. So, but we can check them off a list. And at least we know if people from each state does that, we at least know that those schools will look into their database and will, at least reach out to law enforcement if they have him. If we need to, it seems like that's playing on some, a lot of people have reached out to me and expressed that. So let's acknowledge that this is a concern of our audience, and let's find a solution for it. And I think the solution for it is to clear that off. And if everybody, reaches out and does their part, we should clear this off, and we can move on. If he's there, then they'll find him. If he's not, but just like everything else, maybe these schools don't even know that he's missing, that there's this big thing. So just by you calling and having them go to the computer and look him up, they may realize what's going on. They may be, oblivious. But I'd have to think that some schools like that you'd have to have credit cards, you'd have to have, a monthly payment set up. Like they're not cheap, guys. I mean, this is stuff that's very, very highly expensive. Who's paying for it? And wouldn't that create a paper trail or a money trail showing that he is somewhere? Somebody's got to be paying for it. If he's at one of these schools, they don't do this for free, you know? And if they are doing it for free, somebody else, like the government, is sponsoring it. And that means even more paperwork for that person, you know? So I really don't see how, all this stuff is interlinked. That's why the FBI, when they step in, they have access to a lot of stuff that we don't have access to. Think about all the regulations and requirements from all of these medical facilities. They have to plug your information in somewhere, right? They have to put your information, into a computer. Trust me, I don't I'm pretty sure we don't know a lot of the big brother stuff that we have to deal with. But I have to think that the FBI, Secret Service, and our U.S. Marshals have a lot of latitude with a lot of our private information that we don't even know about, because we aren't reading these bills. Do you know what's in the Patriot Act? It was the worst law in the whole world. It stripped us of all of our rights, all of our privacy from the government. That Patriots Act should have been reversed. They utilized the towers coming down to lawfully intrude in every single American person's life. They can watch more now than they have ever been able to watch without a court order. And that should be scary for anybody